Good afternoon, and welcome to Tech Ambassadors. Can we provide a stimulating environment for people that are in our day hab programs, in our residences, people that we interact with every day? Yes, they go out and volunteer. Yes, they are involved in the community. That's all great. But also, the mind, each of us has this incredible machine up there that's working all the time. But unless we exercise that mind, it doesn't get any stronger. So I'm a great believer in lifelong learning. And here's just a quote that came from a study, Cognitive Benefits of Participation in Lifelong Learning Institutes. So just a couple of highlights. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but active learning is a complex process and it can be considered an ideal means of cognitive stimulation. So what do we mean by active learning? It can simply be learning something new and stimulating, such as gardening or being involved in a group discussion on a current topic. If there's a pause in the day, you don't know what to do, think twice before you reach for that DVD of a Disney movie. Let's try and challenge the people that we serve. So how do we challenge them? I'm saying let's try the soaps beyond ADL. ADLs are all those activities, the daily living, that are very important. Let's go a little bit beyond there, see if we can expand what we do. Get a whole bunch of people from your program or your residents gathered in a circle around a table and just ask them a basic question to start the conversation. Have they ever watched a soap opera? And of course, you'll get a very positive response. Oh, yeah, I watched this, I watched that. And what were their favorites? Maybe ask why. Why were they a favorite? And for all these soap operas that have gone on 20 or 30 years, there's less of them on the air now, but a lot of them have a long life. We can ask the participants in the program, do soap operas wrap up everything in one episode? Absolutely not. Do you have to be a genius to write a soap opera? Absolutely no. Is everybody in the room capable of dreaming? Do you all have an imagination? Of course you do. So why don't we write our own soap opera? And I did this for about 12 months at another agency years ago, and it was so much fun because there's no right or wrong answer. You just explore, and like the real soap operas, they have some crazy plot lines, but they're fun. First step, if you have someone in your group that has some basic writing skills, either by hand or by computer, let them take down the notes. If you don't have anybody that has those skills, then one of the support staff can become the scribe. You could use Microsoft Word, any kind of text-based system on a computer, and down the road, when you expand your soap opera with images and words, then you can convert it to something like PowerPoint or that wonderful app, Book Creator. First step, click it on. Let's turn on everybody's imagination. Where will our story be set? Is it going to be in the far mountains, a big city out west, a tropical setting? Does it happen in the present day or does it happen in the future? And whatever the answer is, you can always find things on Google that look like what they're talking about, which will be a great reinforcement for people to say, oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to do a story in a tropical setting like this wonderful picture of a hammock on a beach. Okay, you don't have to have the whole story sketched out yet, and I guarantee you most soap operas never have the whole line of drama sketched out at the beginning. They do it week to week, day to day. What do you need first? We need some characters. Who do you see around you? This is a question that you can ask the people in your group. Do you have neighbors? Do you go to the store and the store owner's there? Do you have friends in your neighborhood? You go to a doctor, a teacher. Who do you want in your soap opera? And are these people that you want in the soap opera, are they young, old? Are they average? Or are they very glamorous and fancy? Are they male, female? Are they little babies? It's up to their imagination. And are all these characters, are they all good people? So here we have a picture of a beautiful heroine, a hero, but then at the bottom, a villain. Ooh. Every story has to have some kind of conflict, something that needs to be resolved, and a balance has to be found in the story. Let's pretend that you're somebody new in town and you don't have any friends. How are you going to find friends? Or you come across someone who takes advantage of you. Maybe you worked hard and they didn't pay you the right amount that you were supposed to get. Or maybe you need money and you're looking for a job. How do you connect with people? So all these interactions, how do people do it? And this is the most important thing and probably the hardest thing in this whole exercise is not to write the story. The person that's leading the group doesn't write the story. Your job is to ignite the thought, not to write it down. So if somebody says, well, it'll be on a tropical island, well, great. What happens on a tropical island? Does everybody wear a three-piece suit or do they wear shorts? What kind of things do they do? They do fishing, this and that. You're there to stimulate, not to write, and to get people to start thinking, to transport themselves to a different world, and while doing so, really use their imagination. When I was doing this class years ago, I would do this for an hour once a week, but whatever works for you. You could do it just for 15 minutes so you don't have any kind of boredom. After you do the 15 minutes, you wrap things up. Whoever is the scribe can take that basic information and put it into something that could be read with some pictures. And at the start of the next session, a couple of minutes, a couple of days or weeks later, you could have somebody in the group that has some basic literacy read it. Or with all the software that's out there, there's lots of programs that can read back the text to people. In our last episode, and by reading it, you recount all the things that you've developed in the first session. And you could do this at every week. Last week in our episode, and it reminds people of the story, gets them back in the imagination cycle, gets them cranked up to create something new. Like we said before, soap operas have been around a long time, and it never seems that the story ever ends. And that's the great thing about this exercise. You could keep doing this for weeks, for months, and people could have a lot of fun creating their own story. In fact, if you really want to be ambitious, you could create a video out of this someday. Take it from just a story and turn it into a video with giving people the chance for acting. So why should you do this? Well, not just because I say so, but I know I've seen it. It's a lot of fun. You provide a lot of interaction between all the participants because everybody's throwing out ideas. It provides a lot of stimulation. It's very engaging. And literacy is great as long as you keep using it. But if you don't keep your reading skills up or your writing skills, you may go backwards, not forwards. So it gives people a chance to explore, how do I spell this word? Or what are the elements of a sentence? Or what are the elements of a story? It makes people think. And isn't that at the end of the day what we're all about? We're trying to help people become lifelong learners, have the confidence in themselves to think for themselves, to create things out of their mind, to be an active participant in this world, and not be passive, waiting for something to happen to them. They can create something and bring it to the world. And if we do that, man, that's the best.